Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. I've decided I am going to offer to assist Dai Nam in their war against the French. And I'm going to ask for a war goal. No. French Senegal is not an appropriate subject. Right country. Ooh. I could really mess up their empire that way, but no. I'm going to ask for a conquest war goal on French Guyana. Where is it? It was just... Here we go. I'm going to hope that doesn't cause China and Russia to bail on this thing. Dang. Alright. Russia abandoned, but that's okay. Alright. Japan. Propose peace. Mobilize the other units. Very good. And now we're going to put some armies in various locations. So, Army of Canada, we're going to have you grab Christmas Island. An Army of the West Indies, we'll have you sort out the West Indies. Now, I'm going to have the Army of Australia take French Guyana. Well, maybe I'll have an army that's a little bit higher functionality take that area. And we're going to deploy some armies to Africa. Army of the Cape of Good Hope and Army of West Africa are going to the Mediterranean, are going to the Mauritania front. Army of Mediterranean will go to the Marrakesh front, and then the Army of India will go to the Army of Ireland here. And those are, I think, the main fronts. And we'll see what happens if the French try to take... Oh. Before we do that, though, let's get our main battle fleet and put it back over here where the battles are going to happen. Sheerness Station, where are you? You're here. And this is the Plymouth Station fleet. Cool. I'm going to put Sheerness Station in the channel for now. And that'll get that going. And we've got, of course, 2 armies at home here in England to make sure... Uh-oh. The Cape of Good Hope can't reach. But you're going, right? Okay, they're going. So we're going to put you... Okay, so you're going there. Alright. Army of West Africa. You're going there. Army of Canada. You're going to Christmas. You're going there, alright. Okay, alright. I don't think that actually meant that was going to happen. Alright, so, China is still with us, though. I'm going to trust them to watch the proverbial home front here in Dai Nam, and we'll get attacking French colonies overseas. Unfortunately, they've got a speed advantage on us. Oh my goodness. Canadian aristocratic revolts. Ooh, that's not great. I'm going to send the Army of the West Indies there to deal with that once they're done. I don't think the Canadian aristocratic revolt has a very large army at all. No, it doesn't appear that it does. So I think I'll be able to handle that with a minimum of struggle. Wow, that was fast. Heck. How do they get so much territory all at once? heck? Prussia, I don't need your help with that. It's this other thing. Oof, didn't account for the importance of speed and how this would go. Alright, so you're rivaling us. Very well. I will rival you as well. So, Army of the West Indies has finished their conquest in the West Indies. How much has Canada got? Canada's got more battalions. I'm going to send the Army of the West Indies to Africa to help deal with this emerging situation. Got another rubberish event in East Borneo. Doing that. It's fine. Got a lot of armies deploying here to stem the tide of French aggression. So hopefully that'll be good to go as well. I didn't even catch that. Well, I mean, I caught that it was overlordship of the Ionian Islands, but God, how are they able to take all this territory this fast? Questionable practices. Released patients from the London asylum have steadily denounced the practices involved in their supposedly medical treatments. Mistreatment of the sick, withholding of personal letters, and disproportionate punishments were among the charges. They would make us sit in a chair for hours, if not the whole day, in silence. We couldn't talk to any other patient, not even read a book. They would only excuse us to go to the restroom, even if we were lucky. Otherwise, it was just a rusty chamber pot. No food, no water. If we were not sick when we were admitted, we would be within just a few weeks. Their judgment cannot be trusted. This makes the trade unions unhappy. The trade unions are actually a power now. We need to entirely revise the asylum system. This costs us a bunch of cash. Where the trade unions can take over asylum administration, this makes them happy but reduces our bureaucracy. I'm going to go with the first one. I'm okay with angry trade unions. Firebreak. Whether through the trust of our people or the trenchants of our soldiers, Great Britain has emerged unbroken from the wave of socialist agitation that threatened it. They still saw the pamphlets sometimes, decayed paper corpses trapped in the gutters, caked in soaken mud, bold red and black ink, abraded by rough stones and rougher footsteps. The police had not bothered to pick them up, treating them as an affront to their gloves, or perhaps realizing the fallen remnants made more of a statement than their complete disappearance. A triumph for all Great Britain. This gives us 5 legitimacy. A lot of extra loyalists from standard of living increases, reduced political strength of laborers, or 2% and 2% upper stardom pops and middle stardom pops becoming more loyalist, or things will never be the same again. This is fewer loyalists from standard of living increases, much more loyalists among the upper and middle stratum pops, and then extra support for secret and militarized police. Ooh, that's weird. I'm going to go with the first one. Extra legitimacy and a lot of loyalists from standard of living increases is a good thing to have. Alright, we've got our armies deployed to these zones, so hopefully this will mean we can start experiencing some success in the war. So, at this point, I think I'm going to have the Plymouth Station fleet grab the Army of the West Indies and naval invade French Guyana. Can't. Because they're engaged in battle. 2 arms. Alright, so once this battle's finished... Oh, they're the only army that's over there, though. Ooh. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. What are you all doing? Why aren't you going to the front? Oh, gosh. Alright, that's what happened. So the army's rerouted to Britain instead of going to their fronts. That shouldn't... They said they were going to the right front. Okay, well anyway. Let's grab the Army of the Cape of Good Hope. And invade French Guyana. I still firmly believe in my ability to win this. Excuse me. Netherlands is offering us to owe us an obligation if we back them in the ongoing diplomatic play against the Tidor liberal revolt. I accept. We'll put the army of Australia on it. Tidor liberal revolt has no battalions. I'm not worried. Alright, well, now that I know what's happened, it makes sense that it went the way it went. I just wish it had been... Okay, that's fine. Alright, and then this army is on their way over here to do this naval invasion. So, and now that our actual armies are on the way to these fronts, we should be able to win without a problem. A bunch of French fleets over here. Right here. Oh, they're actually winning against us. Ooh, that's not great. This is the Plymouth Station fleet. Well, we're in 2 battles. We're losing one and winning the other. We're winning the larger one, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Alright, and we have successfully invaded. Perfect. So we'll grab the army of the Cape of Good Hope and place them on the main front in Africa. It does not appear that they've been successful at invading Dai Nam whatsoever. So I'm feeling pretty confident that we'll be able to get where we need to go. Where is the army of Ireland? They're on the way. Alright, perfect. We've also basically got the main French target, so they're also not able to... So, they're losing war support at a rate of 2.39 per month. Great Britain is losing war support at a rate of 1.05 per month. Per week. So, even if they continue to take a bunch of territory here, which they're not going to, because now we're beating them on overall strength. Arms. We're still going to win because they've got a lot more, because they're losing war support a lot faster than us, and we've got a hold of our war goal. Let's put this fleet over here at the sea node where all the battles are happening. And we'll go ahead and increase the game speed. This was touch and go for a minute. They've taken a bunch of our territory in Africa, but I'm still feeling pretty good. Actually, no. I'm going to put you over here. I don't like these fleets faffing about in that zone. I actually really like the way... Hey, we won the battle in Tidor. Excellent. I actually really like the way naval battles work now. I think full transparency is not very real... particularly of fleet positions, is not very realistic, but it's very... I think it just makes more sense for the type of game that Victoria 3 is. So here's a question. Has France got trench infantry yet? They did. It would show they... I don't think they do. So we have a very solid advantage over them on military capabilities at this time. Very good. I'm quite pleased. At this stage, France is losing war support still pretty fast. They haven't lost the majority of the battles yet. But I think they're going to start losing more battles now that we've got strength overages on them on both of these main fronts. And we forced one of their fleets to relocate back to Brest here and repair, so I'm feeling pretty good about that overall. Army of Australia. Why don't you go to help out the Canadians? Do we have any... We do not have any armies that are messed up right now. Obviously, we have transportation shortages, which I knew about, but we had to build up those ports because there was something going on with that, and Anyway, it's nice to have a large overage of ports overall. Dai Nam should have war support protection. They sure do. Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. Has France got part of their war goal? They have not. All right. Whew. Little bit concerned over there. We're sinking a lot of French convoys. That should be hopefully messing up the French economy pretty badly. And do at this front. Not sure how. Well, I mean, I know how, but when I say I'm not sure, what I really mean is I wish it hadn't. That's just me not being as clear about my feelings as I could be. Alright, so now, as you can see, France is losing war support much faster due to the larger number of battles they've lost. Our side, particularly in Vietnam, has hardly lost many casualties at all. My war support is pretty low, but not as low as France's. So, actually my war support's the highest of all the negotiating participants on this side. So I think we're going to win this. Once France gets below 0, they'll be much more likely to approve of anything that Dai Nam proposes. So we'll see how long it takes them to start getting aggressive with the French. Ooh, booming oil industry. The recent expansion of the oil rigs in Niger has boosted confidence in Great Britain's future as an oil producer. Get every drop from those wells. If our ancestors had seen these machines, powered by black flammable liquids bursting forth from the earth, they would surely have called our technological marvels the work of the devil. Thank God we live in such enlightened times. Nigeria gets an oil boom, extra throughput for oil extractors by 33%, which is pretty substantial. We're losing convoys in the Natal coast, so we need to get a fleet there. That's the Cape of Good Hope. Where is the Natal coast? Where have our enemies got a fleet? Is it here? Western Mediterranean. Where's the finder? There we go. Natal coast. Ah, over here. Well, it looks like a friendly fleet chased those raiders away, so I'm feeling pretty good about this overall. And there's malaria prevention. So, now that we've got that, first things first, I'm going to click extra colonial affairs, and then we're going to get some more colonies growing. Joining the scramble for Africa. Great Britain's growing colonial empire in Africa, along with the... Actually, let me press this button first, because this is time sensitive. And by time sensitive, I mean we're going absolutely buck wild, colonizing all of these zones. We're colonizing all of these zones, all of these zones. We're some colonizing fools, is what we are. We're going to make absolutely massive use of this, of our early adoption of this technology. So, joining the scramble for Africa, Great Britain's growing colonial empire in Africa, along with new means to prevent malaria, has made us a serious contender for colonial control of the continent. When I see this continent, I see a raw, unworked material from which anything could be carved. But, as often when working with rough materials, mishaps are inevitable. Something breaks, blood is spilled. Great Britain isn't so squeamish as to let a bit of blood get in the way of ambition, are we? Bring out the maps and strategies. Cecil Rhodes moment. So, the scramble for Africa. We're close to achieving our ambition of establishing a large, permanent colonial empire on the African continent. We've joined the colonial powers vying for control over the African continent, determined to carve out our own colonial empire. We'll complete if 7 or more unincorporated states in Africa. 95% of the regions in Africa must be completely owned by any country with a capital outside of Africa, a subject of any country with a capital outside of Africa, or a recognized power in Africa. They'll fail if we don't have any unincorporated states in the African continent. Crucial liberal diplomatic play against us. Send the Australians. They're getting really good at that. So, the war is progressing extremely well. We now have France losing war support at a rapid rate. I don't have the capacity to offer a war goal right now. So this is completely on Dai Nam to request French war reparations and the conquest of French Guyana, which we are currently holding. Once again, Prussia wants an obligation for support in this diplomatic play. I don't have any need for that. You, conquer that stuff. You. Okay, you're already there. These fronts are a little silly, but, you know, we're doing our best with it. Silly fronts are a perennial problem in Victoria 3. Not exactly a new situation. 2 Sicilies is sided with us. Interesting. I mean, I'm grateful, I guess? If we can push France all the way down to negative 100, they'll capitulate and give us everything. Bourgeois revolt in Pontianak. Well, that's unfortunate. Where is the Army of Canada right now? They're on the main front. Let's send them... We do have an army on the way to Canada, right? Oh, it was the Army of Australia. Let's send the Army of Canada to deal with that. What? Oh, this is a front with the French Republic as well. Okay, here we go. So this is Prussia asking to support us against the Trucial Liberal Revolt in exchange for transferring our overlordship over the Ionian Islands. I'm going to decline again. I don't need your help, Prussia. It's not that... I'm certainly not going to give up a productive subject over the Ionian Islands. That's not going to be of nearly any value to me. Oh boy. We got events for days. We got anarchism and an insubordinate jingoist. And to the home countries. An officer of our African colonies has intentionally provoked a confrontation with Mangbetu, despite instructions to keep the peace. We can either save face by going along with the officer's plot, or recall him, admit that we lost control of the situation, and upset the jingoists. Never mind the missives of weak-minded fools in the capital. Everything I have accomplished during these campaigns was done in spite of the ministry, not because of it. We have no choice but to attack Mangbetu, recall the officer, and end this madness. This damages our prestige and reduces the approval of the armed forces, makes them pretty mad. Armed forces are pretty loyal right now, but I don't want to lose them. We have no choice but to attack Mangbetu. Okay, Mangbetu, where are you? You're this country here. I'm gonna do it. We have no choice but to attack. Probably something I shouldn't do right now, but, you know, it is what it is. These colonies are all growing at a good clip. As you can see, about 130 days per province, and we are grabbing just a ton of provinces. And we are winning our war against the French right now. And there's our war with the Trucial Liberal Revolt. Unfortunately, the Australian army is not quite here yet. We will need to invade back in if we lose the entire zone. But I'm not super concerned about that. I'm just going to keep an eye on it for now. Perfect. And come on. Get in the way. And we're on the front. Perfect. So, another rubber rush event. This place seems to be most effective. So, Perfect. All right. So, Mexico, the United States wants to take Mexican Texas, to humiliate Spain, who's also involved, and to take a treaty port in Oaxaca. Mexico has added as their counter-war goals the conquest of Oklahoma and California. So, how's our infamy? Infamy is at 17.1. Oh boy. Okay, another Hell on Earth launch an inquiry. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Dial it back. Dial it back. Dial it back. We got a lot of events. So, what will Mexico offer me in exchange for my help? They've got the Ottomans on their side, because they're allies. They've got Spain on their side. Get an obligation or a war goal. Some conquer state options in the northeast. That's a really interesting prospect. But I don't want the infamy. Is there anywhere... Wow, actually there are a bunch of territories that would be pretty low infamy overall. What about Louisiana? Nah, Louisiana's a bunch. Alright. Liberate country. Liberate New England. Oh my god. That would be really funny. The meme potential is high. Gosh, that would be totally bananas. On the other hand, Liberate Deseret would also be really, really funny. Oh my god. Because Deseret, I think, is a Mormon state in Utah. That would be just so very funny. Hey, Canadian Proletarian Revolt's been put down. Wonderful. Oh, man. If I just started breaking off states and turned them into my protectorates, oh my god, I could absolutely wreck a lot of face. You know what? England, that's me. Liberate New England. Ah. Wonderful. Alright, so let's put the army of Ireland and the army of India over here to start. Tertiary Revolt is solved. Okay, so we can basically put all of the main armies over here. So, Army of the West Indies, go over here. Army of West Africa, we'll head over. Army of the Mediterranean. Oh, the Pontiac Military Revolt. Let's send the... this is the Army of Canada is on the way. They nearly got it solved. I'm just going to keep an eye on this. I am going to send the Army of the Cape of Good Hope and the Army of the Mediterranean as well. I think that's all my main armies on the front. One thing I would appreciate, this isn't a flaw in the game as such, this is just something I would like, is if there were an indicator next to the armies of what their current activity is. They're like going to a front, or if they're going to back to their home HQ or whatever. Alright. And this army is deployed. Perfect. So... Oh, right. And we're going to deploy the fleets as well. 1, 2... here. 1 to here. And where's our other major fleet? It's this one. And the Cape of Good Hope. We'll deploy that one to the Caribbean. And there's oil in Guyana. Alright, so, meanwhile, we got some events. The Rogue Imperialist, a patriotic explorer and partisan of the industrialists, has been surveying land in East Sahara and signing treaties with local leaders on behalf of our nation. But the French Republic has already established a presence in the area. If the explorer's claims are recognized, the French Republic will be furious with us. The man is a maniac. We're trying to play a careful, delicate game over here, and this man has to upturn the table and cause a headache for us all. And for what? The nation? Please. Does that man not realize the damage he's doing? How do they feel about us? They're wary. We should be warier in a little bit. Accept the claim. This is a claim on East Sahara. That's here, right? Yes. Oh, that's a very good place to be able to attack. This does give us some infamy. No. This gives France infamy. No, a diplomatic incident in France giving 14 infamy to Great Britain. Okay, alright. So, our infamy is currently at 16. That's pretty tolerable, actually. It would make our armed forces and industrialists happy, or we could reject the or end upset our own jingoists. So give 1.4 infamy to the French Republic. I'm going to go with the first one. Getting a claim. Gold Rush, I'm going to go with It's All Mine. Rubber Rush, this seems to be the most effective. I'm going to go ahead and... we have another place we can... Oh, we can colonize East Sahara. Brilliant. Now, I'm going to normalize production methods in Guyana before I forget. Whew. It has been an extremely eventful event. We do have possibility of building some rubber plantations here, so let's get those plantations building as fast as we can. And that should help us with that event chain. We got a bunch of armies in the process of disembarking in the United States to fight on behalf of Mexico. Alright, USA, last chance. 2 arms. Alright, well, they are winning this first battle, but soon my forces will be deployed and things will be looking much worse for the Americans. Brilliant. Alright, perfect. So, what are our war goals here? California, Oklahoma, and New England. To get New England, we're going to need to go all the way to the capital. But I think we'll be able to do it. We could naval invade them. Actually, I think naval invading is going to be the right call. Ending the slave trade. Alistair Holmes, leader of the trade unions and a well-known opponent to the global slave trade, argues that our colonial ambitions in Inner Mauritania should be leveraged toward ending the practice on the continent. Ending slavery within our own borders is a meager victory in the grand perspective of human history. As long as there are countries in this world willing to sell slaves, there will be countries coming to buy them, and vice versa. The concept must be stamped out. Yes, we won the revolt. Stamped out wherever it can be found, so that eventually it can be stamped out in the human soul itself. We have a duty to end slavery wherever our power reaches. This gives us 20% colonial growth speed. Oh, that's really good. Commitment to this goal may lead to other events later. Cool. That's all very good. This decays relations between us and Sahrawi, makes the trade unions happy. Practical diplomacy must supersede such moral sentiments. Trade unions get mad. Local slave trade could be a good source of workforce for our local projects. Inner Mauritania, extra throughput, but trade unions very mad. I'm going to say we have a duty to end slavery wherever our power reaches. Because extra colonial growth generation for 9 years and 20% colonial growth speed, super, super strong. Going for it. We're going to do a big ol' imperialism. Alright, yes, we have isolated zones. I should have anticipated that was going to happen. So let's get started building ports. That one's there, we need one here. 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 I didn't actually colonize one of these places. I feel sure well, oh well. And then the ones in Namaqualand and Harebrained need to get done as well. So, investment pool is emptied. That's very good. Brazil wants a defensive pact? I accept. We're going to put these railways at the bottom right now. So that we can build up these ports that we need to get our places de-isolated. We are fighting naval battles in a bunch of different zones. We lost some of our convoys in the Macaronesian Sea. That's here, isn't it? Yes. You're escorting convoys right now. And you are winning. Perfect. Alright. We do have... we are over strength on the Americans over in this zone. We're winning our naval battles here. Very good. There's the naval revolt. There's the revolt in Pontianak crushed. We have an Arming the Natives event. We discovered that our rivals in Russia have been arming Kazembe natives in Kazembe. This is likely to impede our efforts to conquer the region. The Kazembe natives have never welcomed our presence, but without the means to mount a truly effective resistance, we've paid little heed to their objections. There we go. The addition of Russian munitions into the equation comes with the frightening possibility that we must face them on equal terms. We should de-escalate the situation. This reduces colonial growth. Or, if they want to fight, they'll get one. I'm going to say if they want to fight, they'll get one. Kablam. Let's queue in that one remaining port over in... I think we're... Do we have anywhere that doesn't have a port that doesn't have... I think we're good. Alright. Alright. I am going to get to the end of the episode pretty soon. There's just a lot going on here. We're going to have to kind of press all the way across America to get what we want, but I have confidence in us. I believe we can do it. Let's raise some conscript battalions. We have a couple of armies that are not on the front. So let's be ridiculous and sneak them in. The Army of Canada was the one that we had. No, actually, the Army of Canada's at home. That can stay at home. Let's put the Household Division on in Maine. Alright, it's going to take a little time, but I think it's going to be fun. So once again, we're in a war with America. This time we're helping Mexico get what they need. Obviously, this means the Americans are moving armies away from the main front, which is good. That is what we want. They're putting another fleet here. So let's go ahead and put... You know what? I think we can win a battle. A brazen expedition. A Russian expedition in British Congo has encountered our own troops, suggesting their colonial ambitions in the region are in conflict with our own. It was not merely a hostile encounter. On the contrary, they seemed quite happy to meet some other people in well, I suppose you could call it the same business. Business? Have they forgotten that they're soldiers? Do they believe the colonization of the African continent is a collaborative effort? If our armies meeting on contested territory does not constitute a hostile encounter, our diplomats over in Ingria shall have to be twice as hostile to make up for it. They must turn back at once. Gives me a bunch of infamy, and they get an event. Or there's enough land in British Congo for everyone. This gives me minus 10 prestige. I'm actually just gonna say there's enough land for everyone. I don't want to get a bunch more infamy right now. I'm colonizing. I'm in my lane. I'm hydrated. I'm invading America. Everything's going the way we like. One of my emperor sides with Russia against the Holstein proletarian revolt. That doesn't concern me. I'm not going to get involved. Alright, so it's still a wild episode. We had a war with France and immediately went forward to a war against the United States, which we are currently winning. They do have war support protection, I believe, but not that much of it, and they're going to lose it soon. if we can get landed properly here, which we look like we might be able to, we might be able to close this out with a victory and get Mexico what they want and us what we want as well. But that's for next episode. For now, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you all on the other side.